They said my family was too loud. That's how it all started. One afternoon, while my kids were laughing and playing in the backyard, my neighbor, a sharp-tongued woman everyone in the community called Karen, stormed over in her expensive suit, demanding that we tone it down. She didn't care that it was just children being children. She didn't care that it was the weekend. All she wanted was control, and she made it very clear we were the problem. At first, I tried to be polite. I explained that my family respected the neighborhood and that we weren't breaking any rules. But Karen wasn't having it. She called the HOA, complained to city officials, and even threatened to take legal action if the noise didn't stop. Her arrogance was unbelievable, and she seemed to enjoy making our lives stressful. What she didn't know was that her biggest mistake was assuming I didn't know the law better than she did. Weeks passed, and Karen's complaints grew louder than the laughter she claimed to hate. That's when I decided to look into property records, just to make sure she wasn't overstepping. What I found shocked me. After digging through survey maps and land deeds, I discovered that the property line wasn't where she thought it was. Her house, the very home she bragged about endlessly, was actually sitting partly on my land. She had been accusing my family while living illegally on my property. The moment I showed her the paperwork, her face turned pale. Karen, dressed in one of her flashy designer suits, could barely speak. For once, she didn't have the upper hand. I reminded her of every threat, every insult, every time she tried to make us feel small. And then I told her the truth. If she wanted peace, she'd have to respect us, because technically, her house now fell under my control. News spread fast through the neighborhood. Families who had once been afraid of Karen's temper were suddenly cheering us on. My family's noise was no longer a problem. It was a celebration. And Karen, she went from making complaints to avoiding us completely, humiliated by her own mistake. What began as an attack on my family ended with us owning not just our happiness, but the very ground she stood on.